Hello and welcome to this month's Better Hearing webinar. Today I am joined by Nicole Oldrati and Zachary LaBarth, who are the UNC Hearing and Communication Center's fourth-year doctoral audiology externs. Today is their final time presenting with us, as they will be leaving for graduation next month to begin their careers as audiologists. So I'm excited to have them here with me today to talk to you about assistive listening devices. Our clinic serves as a nonprofit clinic for the community in Chapel Hill and surrounding areas. We are a practice of faculty within the audiology program at the UNC School of Medicine. We serve as a training clinic for our audiology students. We work with adults who need a hearing test, hearing aids, or hearing protection. We also do vestibular or balance and tinnitus specialty testing here at this clinic. And we work with all hearing aid manufacturers on an unbundled or fee-for-service business model. We currently have 3 locations. Our main location in Chapel Hill is pictured there in front of you. And we're also at the Seymour Center and the Orange County Sportsplex in nearby Hillsborough. For appointments, we do have a new phone number, and it's listed there on the screen in front of you. And if you live in Hillsborough, you still call our main line and you can request an appointment there. This is a link to our YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed already, please follow that link and hit subscribe. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can hit that button and please like this video if you find it helpful. So this is our agenda for today, and I'm going to pass it over to Zachary to get us started.
All right, thank you, Dr. Whitson. Hello, everybody. Again, my name is Zachary LaBarth. I'm one of the fourth-year doctoral externs. It's a pleasure to talk to you all today. All right, so what are assistive listening devices, or for short, ALDs? ALDs are devices other than hearing aids that can help those with hearing loss communicate more effectively. Hearing is more than just about your hearing aids, so these devices can be used with and without hearing aids to help improve communication. So why use assistive listening devices? ALDs help those who continue to struggle hearing even with amplification. So here's some situations we're going to go over. To overcome communication challenges in difficult listening environments. So noisy areas such as restaurants or dining halls can make it very difficult to hear even when you have your hearing aids. Some of the ALDs we're going to discuss today provide easier listening in these environments through direct streaming from the device with your hearing aid or cochlear implant. They can be used as an alternative mode of communication. So with cell phones, specifically smartphones, they give us alternative ways to communicate with others over the phone, whether that be texting, voice memos, or even video calling, such as FaceTime. It can be used to enhance communication with binaural amplification. So some of these ALDs we'll talk about today can be paired and used with your hearing aid or cochlear implant. And then finally, to address some safety concerns. Hearing loss can make it difficult to hear alarms and warnings that are in your environment. So the use of some ALDs can, as I mentioned, can provide visual or vibrotactile alarms that allow you to know what's going on in your environment and help keep you safe. They can be used to alert the individual of an auditory signal, as well as be used to enhance the auditory signal that's coming through the hearing aid. So let's go over some of the reasons that assistive listening devices are recommended. So first and foremost, hearing aids or cochlear implants are not enough. Sometimes the severity of one's hearing loss can make it difficult even with amplification. So, you might have a hearing aid or a cochlear implant and maybe things are getting louder, somebody's saying something, but the clarity is still not there. Things aren't clear enough where you can understand what somebody's saying. So like reduced speech discrimination. In those loud environments, it's not just about hearing the sound, but also understanding and what our brain does to process that sound. With the the sound coming directly into the ears, it makes it easier to hear what's being said, but also understand what's being said to you. Challenges in listening environments include restaurants with background noise, ambient noise, reverberative environments, so high ceilings, hard floors, maybe not anything to absorb that sound in the environment that you're in. These type of environments make it a lot more difficult to hear, as well as distance. So some of you may be sitting at a table, whether it be at a restaurant or in the dining hall, and this person that's sitting across from you at the table is quite far away, and you really can't hear what they're saying. Some of these, some of the technology we'll talk about today allows for ease of communication when distance is involved. And finally, for safety concerns. We want all of our patients to be safe. We want all of our family members to be safe. So in the home, we have assistive listening devices that can alert if someone's at the door, someone's trying to get in. Fire alarms are always good to see if there's ever a fire in the kitchen or somewhere else in the home. You know, you can't always hear the sound that's coming out. So fire alarms that include lights or loud enough sounds that you can almost feel them are also useful. And then alarm clocks. No one ever likes oversleeping or not waking up to their alarm. So there are some alarm clocks that have visuals, as well as even shake your bed in the morning that allow you to know that it's time to wake up and start your day. So we'll transition to talk more specifically about assistive listening devices around the home. So we'll get started talking about the alarm clocks. Alarm clocks can alert a person by using, as I mentioned, tactile, visual, or auditory stimulation. They can connect to a bedside lamp or a strobe light, so they can plug into a lamp, and at a certain time, the lamp turns on. It gives you that light, and that'll help you wake up. The strobe light can also be useful, a little more alerting than just a lamp turning on, but there are both options. They also operate in sync with bed shakers. So whenever the alarm goes off, there's something that you can put underneath pillow that gives the bed a shake and triggers you to wake up. Another one I want to talk about is the Apple Watch. So there's a setting on the Apple Watch where you can set an alarm, and in the morning, the watch itself will set off an alarm sound, but also it'll make a vibration, which you'll feel on your arm or on your wrist. No one ever wants to be in a situation where there's a fire. Some of these smoke detectors use lights and vibrations to alert those around and let them know that it's time to get out of that area. Doorbell alerting systems. So these are useful, especially because they're able to be paired to a smartphone. So if you're an iPhone or Android user and you have one of these alert systems, most specifically the one down below, which is, I think, the Ring, that is the most common one I've seen recently. All right, closed captioning. There's all different kinds. There's live closed captioning. There's captioning where it's recorded television. So whether you be streaming on TV or watching a movie, you can also see what's being said as well as just trying to hear it. This is really useful, especially if you have a harder time with watching television or other recorded material. As Dr. Whitson mentioned in the beginning, we do work with all the hearing aid manufacturers, and many of them have a TV streamer. This is a device where you can plug it into your TV, and using the buttons on your hearing aid or using your smartphone and the manufacturer-specific app, you can switch into a TV program which directly connects to this TV streamer and then streams what's coming from the TV directly into your hearing aid. And this is useful, one, because if the TV is far away or if someone's in the kitchen maybe making dinner, it doesn't distract you or prevent you from hearing what's coming out of the TV. But also, if you're watching TV with somebody else in the room, you can adjust the volume how you like it, and they can also listen to the TV volume at a level that's comfortable for them. So if it's something that you struggle with when it comes to watching TV, this might be something that's useful for you. There are landline phones that, as you can see, they use closed captioning to show you what is being said on the other line. Oftentimes with landlines, it can be difficult to hear what somebody's saying, especially when that telemarketer calls you and trying to sell you things. You can't always hear what they're saying. This will let you know exactly what they're saying so you can decide whether or not you want to keep talking or hang up. But if family calls, this is also a good option because you don't ever want to miss what family's saying. So this allows you to see what's being said as well as hear it. These are available through our clinic. So if you're ever interested in something like this, you can just give us a call and let us know, and we can help you through that process. All right, I'm going to switch things over to Nicole now, and she's going to get started with talking to you about assistive listening devices, specifically for background noise.
All right, thanks, Zach. So the first thing that I want to talk about is remote microphones. Remote microphones provide that wireless input to the hearing aids that's going to overcome distance, background noise, the reverberation, everything that Zach talked about earlier. This also allows talkers to go straight to the hearing aids. You're hearing it in both ears, and it's a clearer signal. The remote microphones are usually worn either as a clip or as a necklace, and they're best for one-on-one situations. This is a Roger microphone. It is a specific type of remote microphone. The manufacturer who makes it is Phonak, and the Phonak company makes Roger work with every hearing aid manufacturer as long as the hearing aid has what's called a telecoil in it. There are a bunch of different versions of Roger that can be used for certain needs. The one shown in this picture is a Roger Select. And as you can see on the left-hand side, the woman is wearing it as a necklace or a clip so that it's a one-on-one conversation and her voice is being picked up and sent to the man's hearing aids. But on the right, you can see that it's placed down in the center of a table, a little more sophisticated than a remote microphone, and can be placed as a table microphone and pick up whoever's around you. Because the Roger is a more sophisticated version of a remote microphone, it's more versatile and can be used in different environments. And like I said, Roger has multiple different types of microphones, not just the Roger Select. Here are some examples of other brands of remote microphones, because like we've all already said, we work with all of the manufacturers, so there are a few of them pictured here. So if it's something that you're interested in or realizing that distance makes it harder, background noise makes it harder, and you like the idea of having somebody's voice stream directly to your ears, talk to one of your audiologists. Now, if you don't have hearing aids, or you have a family member who might have dementia or is in a hospital or nursing home, and it's not really feasible to put their hearing aids in each day, or they've lost their hearing aids, and you want another way to still be able to communicate with them, a pocket talker is a great second option. It's much cheaper than hearing aids or a remote microphone. On Amazon, it's about $175, $170. And it's really easy for caregivers to use. You put the headphones on, the person who wants to hear, and then the other person talks into the microphone, and there's a volume control so you can dial it up or down as needed for the person. Now, we've talked about cell phones and landlines, and sometimes conversations can be difficult. Even when you put it on speakerphone, you can't quite hear everything as well as you'd like to. Well, now with technology, there's a lot of ways to add visual cues, which we know is always going to help increase your word understanding and speech understanding because you have those visual cues from lip reading. And on the screen are listed a bunch of different apps that you can use for FaceTime, video calls, Skype, Zoom, all of these ways so that you are given visual cues to help you better understand the person on the other side. There are a bunch of options when it comes to cell phone use, and I want to break down these different options. The first, of course, is Bluetooth direct hearing aids. And then you have hearing aid manufacturer specific streamers. They are similar to the remote microphones where you wear it as a clip-on or you wear it with a necklace. And these are for hearing aids that don't have Bluetooth. That little interface will connect to the hearing aids, and then the hearing aids will listen to the phone because the interface is paired to the phone. So it's an indirect way of streaming your phone. I know a lot of people probably have smartphones nowadays, but if you have a flip phone or an older phone, you want to look for MT ratings that are 3 or 4. M is for your microphone, which is going to limit your interference for all of the hearing aid microphones that you have on your ears. And then T is for telecoil or induction loop strength. All right. Now I want to talk a little bit about direct Bluetooth. There are 2 different types of Bluetooth when it comes to the hearing aids. We've got hearing aids that are made for iPhone, which pair through the accessibility section of your iPhone. This way, you can use the accessibility feature to get your volume control and get programs that you might have. You also have the live listen feature. If you don't have an iPhone and you have an Android, but you have a made for iPhone hearing aid, it's still possible to connect to your Android or even your laptop as long as there's Bluetooth. You just usually need a secondary device to help that connection. And then we have MFA Bluetooth or traditional Bluetooth, and that's used for Phonak and Unitron hearing aids. They use standard Bluetooth in your Bluetooth settings, and you can pair the Phonak or Unitron hearing aids to any device that has Bluetooth. And here's a list of the made for iPhone hearing aid manufacturers, as well as the traditional Bluetooth manufacturers. If you do have a made for iPhone hearing aid, you use the accessibility shortcut, like I said. And there is a feature called Live Listen, which is a wonderful assistive listening device if you are one-on-one and if you don't have a remote microphone. It makes your iPhone a remote microphone, essentially. It's best to hold it close to your mouth or whoever you want to hear their mouth because you want it to be as close as possible. So it's best when someone is talking directly into the phone and you're at maybe a restaurant or a bar and there's a sentence you can't quite hear, you can hand your phone to your friend, turn on Live Listen, and have them repeat the sentence into the phone, and it will stream directly to your hearing aids. So if you have a hearing aid that has Bluetooth and you have a smartphone, you are able to download the manufacturer-specific app so that you can adjust volume, switch your programs, adjust the noise in the background, and your directionality of your microphones. Now let's talk about some assistive listening devices for larger areas like theaters or auditoriums. These devices are best to overcome the negative effects of noise, reverberation, and distance, just like we talked about earlier. Infrared systems are similar to like a TV remote control, where sound is transmitted through light energy and it's sent to the receiver. But if somebody's in your way, it can interrupt the conversation or make it not work at all. So the most common nowadays is the induction loop system. Induction loop systems is that telecoil or loop system where a physical loop is placed on the surrounding of the room, whether it be an auditorium, a theater, or a meeting room or hall. And the sound gets picked up from a microphone and amplified, and then it's routed through that wire around the room's perimeter and sent through an electromagnetic field into the hearing aid. The hearing aid needs to have a telecoil or loop program so that you can get in and out of that program. It is not an automatic feature. If you have a room that you go to, a church or an auditorium, theater that you go to that is looped, You are responsible for getting into your looped system, having that telecoil work, and then when you leave that room, to turn that looped system back off. That blue sign is your key to tell you if the room is looped or not. I've listed some resources here if you are interested in learning more. The North Carolina Assistive Technology Program supplies technology to those who are unable to purchase the devices for any kind of financial reason. Division of Services of Deaf and Hard of Hearing for North Carolina is listed there as well. They can give referrals to those who are interested in ALDs, and they can answer questions about the ADA when it's related to communication-related equipment. I've also listed our website. We've got a section on our website about assistive listening devices if you are interested in learning more. And if you're interested in looking at some of those devices, those home devices that Zach talked about, you can go to like Amazon or Diglo, the Deaf and Hard of Hearing products website, which I've listed below as well, to give you an idea of the cost of things and the variety of products. And if you have any questions or want to learn more about your options, I'd say make an appointment with one of the audiologists because they're an incredible resource as well. So, assistive listening devices are devices that are in addition to hearing aids that can help a person communicate more effectively through direct sound amplification or visual or vibro-tactile alerts. They're for people who continue to struggle to understand speech, even if they have hearing aids on. There are many types of assistive listening devices, depending on what you need as a person. Bluetooth nowadays can be used as an assistive listening device because you're able to stream music and phone calls, and you have the option of having an app and using the app to adjust programs and volume. And if you feel like your hearing aids are not providing you with enough benefit, talk to your audiologist about possible options, which might include the addition of an assistive listening device.
And at this point, I am going to end the recording for YouTube, but we will stay on for a little bit longer in case there are more questions. Thank you so much, Nicole and Zach, for this great presentation. Assistive listening devices are things that we don't always get a chance to talk about in a regular appointment. So I'm really excited that we got to go through this with you all today.